Growing up in America, we are often, as Muslims, we're told to not say anything, we're told to be quiet, not stand up for ourselves because somehow the CIA or the FBI will come find us and take us away, or like take our parents away, and I'm sure I'm not the only Muslim in this room who can relate to that. And when we're silent, it leaves us susceptible to people who take advantage of our silence, and that's what happened to me. What happened to me was excessive bullying when Osama bin Laden died. You see this man, I don't even think I look like him, but apparently one day some 5 white boys come up to me and they're like, your father died. And me being a very logical person, I'm like, how would you guys know about my father's death before me? Like my mom would definitely like call me, take me out of school, and like, it doesn't make sense to me. And I was like, what are you guys trying to do? And literally this is what I replied, I was like, bro, what are you trying to say? He's like, we heard your father died. I'm like, how? From who? And they're like, Osama bin Laden, isn't he your father? And I was like, and I was so confused. I was like, what are they trying to get at? I'm like, no, he's not my father, you idiots. It was just so, it was a daze. And then they're like, what is your full name? I was like, you guys know my full name. It's literally up in the class. Like, we have our names and like our pictures in the class in 7th grade in Miss Jordan's class, which was my English teacher. So then they started, a few days went by, didn't say anything, then like about a week or 2 later, they started saying, they called me terrorist, they would like kick me, not kick me, but like, you know, like pretend kick me, so I would like kind of like get away from them. But they were just, the point is, they were just really, really mean bullies. And I didn't really say anything or do anything because I thought if I do anything, my school somehow would call the FBI and my parents would be taken, or something like that. It was just the whole FBI-CIA situation, honestly. One day, we were playing soccer in PE, and weirdly, those 5 guys were in my English class and my PE class, so like, I had no way to avoid them. And they pushed me, and that's when I broke my hand. And that's when I started to realize, I'm like, I need to change this. I can't be sad and pathetic all the time. And since no one's gonna stand up for me, I need to do it myself. Luckily, my PE teacher, Ms. Graham, saw that, and I knew that if I take this to the administration with Ms. Graham's approval, I can finally have this bullying stop. So, like I go to the hospital, I get, like it was a fracture in my bone, then I get a cast, I come back, I don't do PE, which is a really good thing, I hated PE. The worst place to ever be in before. And then the school finally like asked them to stop bullying me, and like they were sort of just like suspended for like a few days, and that didn't matter. They came back, they would stay away from me, but like somehow like in class they would like find a way to like shut my voice down. So like the bullying continued. In 8th grade, I graduated, and I was super happy to be away from the 5 of them, and basically everyone from middle school, I didn't like them. Then I came to high school, fast forward through 9th grade, I go into 10th grade. 10th grade is when my real life changed, because one of my teachers asked me if there are bombs in my backpack. It was a teacher who asked me that. I was super like sad, and I was like, okay, is this gonna continue on? Like, am I just gonna get bullied for the rest of my life? Now, not just by students, but by teachers too. And I took this up to the administration, and the administration kicked out the teacher, and I was like, okay, there's something wrong in where I'm at. Like, I need to spread my knowledge or what I know about Islam to other people. And I started reading about Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, peace be upon him, and he was bullied by the disbelievers and the non-believers when Islam was starting to rise. So he was kicked out of his city, Mecca. He was forced to go to Medina, which is where he started preaching Islam and spreading Islam. And he forgave his bully. He forgave the people who bullied him. He rose above. And if the greatest man that I know in history and will ever in history, past, present, and future, can do that, why can I teach these people about something that defines me, something that is my identity, because my religion is my identity. And might I mention, my identity was very weak then. It was not, I would not be standing up here right now if it hadn't been for Prophet Muhammad's life, if it hadn't been for his life lessons. So I started telling people about my life, my name, what it means. My name means the servant of Allah. And I started telling people about like the misconceptions they have about Islam. Like people would come up to me and they're like, oh my God, the Quran says to kill the disbelievers. But I asked the people, I'm like, if you read that one line, do you also like read what's above the line, or what's the whole paragraph, or just the chapter? The chapters are fairly long, but they could, like, I told them to read what's above the line and what's below the line, and it finally changed their thinking. The whole chapter was about defending yourself and being able to just stand up for yourself against the bullies and when your life is threatened. And I wanted to defend myself verbally. I wanted to tell everyone that Islam that I know is a peaceful religion, and I want to separate the culture from the religion. That's when my interfaith journey really began. And then something really shocking happened. 3 amazing young Muslim students in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, were shot by a certain someone, and they were shot because they were Muslims. The 2 girls wore hijab, and he didn't like that. And I realized I personally felt safe nowhere. Even in California, the worst place like this, I still don't feel safe. That's when I really started to go out of my way to talk to people about Islam, to get a conversation started, to really convey the message Muhammad was trying to give. In one of the hadith, it says Muhammad tells his companion, Allah only helps those who help themselves. And I needed to help myself for the sake of humanity. I needed to tell everyone that I am a peaceful person, I'm not a terrorist, and honestly, there are 2 billion Muslims on earth, and if all 2 billion Muslims were terrorists, no one would be alive, to be very honest. Just saying. That happened, and it broke my heart, because these 3 individuals just were so like, look at their faces. We look at their faces and we're like, these 3 happy people, and now they're not on this earth anymore with us, and their moms are probably still crying. And I don't ever want my mom to cry. And thinking about my parents, I started teaching people about what Islam is to me. I started getting the conversation started. Then I come to UCLA. I went through this phase where I was like sort of putting my topi on in like freshman year and going around. That phase ended when I got nasty looks by people, because apparently a person of color can't wear that and still walk around, but that's fine, here I am. So I started going to the MSA. My really close friend Claire, she's a devout Christian. We started having a conversation about Christianity. I asked her what Christianity is to her, not what's in the Bible. Just like I wanted to tell people about what Islam is to me, not just what's in the Quran, or what I interpret the Quran to be. Claire and I would have great conversations. Then I started going to the Hillel in 2nd year at UCLA, and like a lot of 3rd year. I started to learn about Judaism. I knew I was surrounded by the Jews, and I didn't have that many Jewish friends, so I was like, might as well go to the Hillel and have Jewish friends. So I started going to the Hillel. That was a great learning experience, because I made really good friends with the rabbi. We're still good friends. I still have great conversations with him. Haven't met him in a while, but I will change that. So I was introduced to the interfaith community when I joined the SRF, and when this shooting happened. This shooting was the Christchurch shooting in New Zealand, and it was the worst massacre of Muslims ever in a mosque, which is where we go to pray, which is where we feel safe at. And now going to a mosque, to me, is a place where I personally don't feel safe at anymore. and I have the right to feel safe in my holy space. Back then this happened, and then my flashbacks of 10th grade started coming. I started reading more about Islam again. Then I thought about Prophet's life. I thought about what Prophet would do. My family would think that I'm crazy because I'm not that religious at home. But like, at UCLA, I'm a different person, I promise. So I started really like thinking about what Prophet would do, what his life is all about, and I was introduced to SRF by my amazing professor who is in the audience, Dr. Cross, thank you very much. And SRF is spirituality, religion, and faith. We try to spread the message of peace. We try to have dialogue about people's faith and people's religion. We try to spread the word and try to remove the misconceptions and the misbeliefs that we have about our religion and what people think. And I love being a part of that because I get to tell everyone that I'm a Muslim. I'm not afraid to tell anyone that I'm a Muslim because it's who I am and it's who I will be forever for the rest of my life. And my identity was uplifted in a way by SRF and by coming to UCLA because I was given the platform to talk about myself like right now. And I just like wanted to thank this Sikh Student Association and URC for that. Now that I have this platform, what do I do with it? I talk to people about Islam. I talk to people about what Islam is to me, not what people read in the media outlets. So everyone might be thinking what I'm trying to say about the bullying and why I explain that. I think, to me, now I'm 4th year at UCLA, about to graduate, thank God. That's my office. About to graduate, and I'm finally learning what that bullying was. I think all of that happened. It was Allah's will to get me to this point, to get me to SRF, to get me to be able to talk about my story, to talk about something that's so personal to me, and to just talk about my identity, my name, my religion, and just what Islam is to me in general and what Quran means to me. So I wanted to quit right here for running overboard, and I just wanted to thank everyone for listening to me. Have a great day.